Hey, it's your guy Tyrrell back with the interviews. In today's video, we're going to briefly analyze the key tactical themes to Arsenal's success in the first half of their 1-1 draw at Southampton. Meanwhile, tomorrow we'll upload a video solely analyzing the tactical issues Arsenal experienced against Southampton in the second half. But in today's video, first we're going to focus on Arsenal's structure, then we'll shift to Xhaka and Martinelli's impact with their inside runs, and lastly we'll focus on Hasenhüttl's adjustment in that opening half. So when we break it all down and look at the board, Arsenal are fielding their strongest starting 11 with Tomiyasu starting at left back and Southampton opting to play in a 4-4-2. Arsenal were largely the better side throughout large spells of that opening half, and it was that opening 15 to 20 minute period where they did enjoy a lot of success. If we briefly look at how they pressed, there were no real surprises with Gabriel Jesus leading the line, and at times you'd see Xhaka stepping towards Salisu and blocking off the passing lane into Tyrrell. You'd have White sitting on Armstrong, and then Odegaard and Xhaka would push forward to close down Ward-Prowse and Diallo. There were occasions where White had to push forward to close down Tyrrell, and then Saliba would be tasked with dealing with Armstrong, and there were also situations where if Stuart Armstrong was shifting laterally in towards the central area, you would witness Thomas Partey pushing forward to close him down as well. The other alternative for Arsenal in these situations was that if they wanted Xhaka to stick on Tyrrell, they could simply have Odegaard pushing forward to close down Salisu and block off the passing lane into Diallo. In several scenarios when Arsenal looked to press from the front, you witness Southampton consistently looking to play the ball into wider areas and then conceding possession back to the Arsenal players, and from there Arsenal were able to continue to mount pressure in the Southampton third. However, when we shift to Southampton, the biggest issue that they encountered in those opening periods was their initial shape. They dropped off into two banks of four with Adam Armstrong and Aribo sitting in between Thomas Partey, and then they'd have the wide players tucking in narrow to compress the center of the pitch. From there, they were going up against an Arsenal side that predominantly played in a 4-1-5 in those early stages, with Xhaka and Martinelli hugging the touchline, and then Xhaka and Odegaard pushing into the gap between Elyounoussi and Ward-Prowse, and Diallo and Stuart Armstrong. We've seen this on several occasions this season where they wouldn't look to push high initially, but they'd look to get the ball in those pockets of space, and then if the ball was shifted out towards the wide areas, from there that's where they'd be able to make their forward runs in towards the final third to join the attack. Gabriel Jesus also played a key role in this setup as he dropped deeper in towards the gap between Ward-Prowse and Diallo, and from there you have a 3v2 in that area, and now Gabriel Jesus would be able to receive the ball in that gap, and in those situations you'd see Xhaka or Odegaard looking to attack the space in behind him, especially if he was capable of dragging out one of the center backs to track his movement. There was one example in particular in that opening half where Jesus drops in towards the midfield zone, he drags away the center back, and from there you see Xhaka making a forward run in towards the space beyond the center back, dragging away Lianco, and the only issue that Arsenal encountered here is that when Thomas Partey received the layoff from Jesus, he considered playing the pass over the top for Xhaka, but then opted to play a safer pass, and from there you can see Xhaka's frustration as he wanted the ball to break 1v1 with the keeper. In many cases, what you see when Gabriel Jesus drops off into that midfield zone is that they create a midfield diamond, and they present Arsenal with multiple options to receive the ball. However, Southampton did themselves no favors in this regard, as from the deepest point of that midfield diamond, Thomas Partey was able to receive the ball freely in between Adam Armstrong and Aribo on several occasions in that opening half, and from there he was capable of playing forward passes or shifting out the ball towards the wide areas. There were occasions where one of Aribo or Armstrong did apply half-hearted pressure, but Thomas Partey did a very good job of evading that pressure and progressing the play. There were even situations where you witnessed Diallo or Ward-Prowse looking to step forward to apply pressure, and from there Partey was still free to play the ball forward to help Arsenal advance their attack. Meanwhile, when you shift to the shuttlers in Xhaka and Odegaard, their positioning beyond Ward-Prowse and Diallo was integral, and it was Xhaka in particular in the opening stages of that first half that was consistently running off Ward-Prowse and then looking to get in towards the penalty area. Jesus' movement is integral here as stated because if he drops deeper he pulls away the center back, but if he also looks to make runs in beyond Lianco to drag away the center back, then that also presents an outlet for Xhaka to get in towards the box. So as you can see, Jesus' movement did occupy the center backs, but Xhaka and Odegaard were operating as support attacking players just in behind him. In this example, you witness Tomiyasu dragging away Adam Armstrong and focus on Xhaka in a pocket of space near the touchline. When Xhaka receives the pass from Tomiyasu, focus on the positioning of Odegaard looking to run off Stuart Armstrong, and Xhaka looks to carry the ball forward. You could see that Martinelli's looking to run across Lianco, and before Ward-Prowse can step, Xhaka slides the ball across him into the path of Martinelli, and now you see Xhaka and Odegaard pushing forward. As we watch that play develop, look at where Xhaka receives the ball and focus on Odegaard unmarked beyond the midfield bank. Xhaka carries the ball beyond 3 players in Diallo, Ward-Prowse, and Lianco, and now he looks to square it into the path of Odegaard, who aims to take a first-time effort from this position towards goal, but he ends up dragging it inches wide of the net. There were no surprises that Xhaka and Odegaard's movement were integral in the build-up to the opening goal for Arsenal, but it was also out in the wider areas where their 4-1-5 at times shifted into a 3-1-6 as White was looking to break forward in beyond Stuart Armstrong, who at times was caught in narrow central positions. And from there, he is capable of pushing forward, joining the attack with Xhaka and making underlapping runs to receive the ball from Xhaka to break in towards the final third, or looking to play balls into Xhaka running off Perot in towards that right half space area. In the build-up to Arsenal's opener, you witness all of the issues that Southampton encountered with their 4-4-2. Thomas Partey is unmarked ahead of the midfield bank, looking to square the ball into White, who's looking to run off Stuart Armstrong, and Xhaka's unmarked in the pocket of space between the lines. As that play develops, you witness Xhaka ahead of Perot and White beginning to run off Stuart Armstrong. From there, Saka's looking to backheel the ball across his marker for White as Stuart Armstrong isn't tracking the run. And that's where you see Perot taken out of the game, and White could carry the ball towards the byline. You could see Xhaka, Jesus, and Odegaard now looking to make runs towards goal. But with Lianco looking to cover the back post with Jesus making a run towards the 6-yard area, White's ball ends up bypassing Ward-Prowse and Odegaard and falls into the path of Xhaka, and from this position he fires a first-time effort beyond the keeper. In this example, you witness Tomiyasu looking to switch the route of attack into the path of White as Stuart Armstrong's caught in a narrow position. As we watch that play develop, it's White looking to nod the ball first time across Stuart Armstrong recovering into the path of Odegaard checking in towards it. When Odegaard receives the ball, he drags Salisu in towards the Arsenal half, and from there that creates an avenue for Odegaard to nod the ball back into the path of White, who's running off Stuart Armstrong towards the halfway line. From here you could see Salisu's taken out of the game and Perot's caught checking in towards Xhaka, and as White carries the ball towards the halfway line, he has a large gap where he could split Salisu and Perot, and he ends up playing Xhaka free to break forward towards goal, but as he looks to carry the ball in towards the Southampton penalty area, he falls in between both center backs and he's booked for a dive. And then lastly, the final key aspect to Arsenal's attack in their 4-1-5 were that Martinelli and Saka's impact did vary. Rather than looking to run directly at the opposing side's fullback towards the byline or to cut in 1v1 centrally from a standing start, they ended up drifting laterally to receive the ball in towards that pocket of the half space, and they were dragging away the fullbacks with them, and from there they were either looking to break towards goal to get a shot on goal or looking to tee up one of their teammates to place them in legitimate goal scoring positions. In this example, you witness Martinelli dragging away Lianco and looking to square the ball into the path of an unmarked Thomas Partey. Partey plays a first-time ball into the path of Martinelli, and then Martinelli plays a first-time pass into the path of Jesus, who takes a touch across Salisu, and from here he should be getting a shot on goal, but Salisu ends up making a great tackle to push the ball into left half space, placing Xhaka in this position where he's able to fire a first-time effort on goal that's pushed away by the keeper. Then here you witness Xhaka unmarked in an inside left position, playing the ball to Martinelli, taking his first touch across Elyounoussi, and from this position he looks to carry the ball beyond Diallo and Elyounoussi, and you could see Lianco looking to step forward, but he evades him with ease. He could slide the ball in towards Odegaard, but he continues to carry the ball beyond the Southampton midfield bank. From this position he should be taking a shot or sliding the ball wide, but he allows the ball to roll towards the edge of the box, and he ends up firing an effort on goal that's blocked. Then if we look to the right hand side, it's White carrying the ball freely, and he locates Xhaka making a run off Perot. That's where he instantly plays a first time ball towards Xhaka, who's already across Perot. You have Odegaard running across Salisu to create a gap for Xhaka to run into, carries the ball beyond Perot towards the center backs, but as Xhaka carries the ball towards the penalty area, he has no real lane to shoot, and he ends up firing an effort off the center back. However, Hasenhüttl deserves credit in that opening half for shifting his system to a 5-4-1 and limiting Arsenal's dominance by dropping Elyounoussi in towards a right wing back role. Lianco shifted across that back line to serve as a right center back, and then Adam Armstrong dropped in towards the midfield bank to serve as a narrow wide player. Now you could see Southampton capable of going 5v5 against Arsenal, and Xhaka's impact was limited as when he was looking to receive the ball in that pocket of space or looking to push forward, Lianco was now there to track his runs, and he also pushed forward in towards the midfield zone to apply pressure when Xhaka looked to receive the ball. Therefore, you could see on several occasions the system change negated one of Arsenal's main attacking threats in that early period, and it helped balance out the game for Southampton, who were struggling defensively in their 4-4-2. But as you could see, Arsenal successfully exploited space in Southampton's 4-4-2 with overlapping runs, vertical movement from the shuttlers, and the inside runs of the wide players, but the adjustment to a 5-4-1 helped balance out Mikel Arteta's initial dominant start.